And there you have it, the handshake. The clock starts, and now it's white to play, and we
She
have
goes with
E4.
Ooh. Wow. Let's bring up the game so we can see them as well. E4. And I love how Aronian is always like puffing out his chest, you know, stating his dominance right before. It's always that psychological yeah, upper hand.
Oh, we have the Rai Lopez on board. Wow.
Is it your favorite opening? You're so excited.
It is my favorite opening these days, and you know, I'm playing some good chess. He's played with the idea of d4.
Exactly.
Do you think it's already okay to play d4, or should you go rook e1 and protect this pawn first? Oh,
He goes right away because you're attacking the bishop. That's very important in chess, especially in this time control, to play very fast and very sharp. You don't need to protect the pawn on e4, because if black dares to take this pawn, then good luck to survive, because I'm gonna attack this knight and then I'm gonna aim the king, which has not castled yet.
Yeah, I was gonna ask actually, what is your favorite part of the Rai Lopez? I mean, it's not an opening that I particularly play, but I'd love to know what you enjoy about it.
I just love how it has so many attacking possibilities. Like Katie mentioned, if this pawn is taken, the game becomes very, very sharp, and those are the positions I really enjoy. I think it becomes an open position, and that's what gives the flavor of the opening. I mean, it's a very, very aggressive opening, especially with this bishop eyeing the king, this rook joining in. The center is going to open anytime soon. I think there are going to be some fireworks on this board.
So if we could just take a look at board 5 for a second. Yeah, that's the old Georgian matchup on that board, with Bella playing the white pieces. And another interesting thing, while we're waiting for the diagram to pop up, I noticed that on board 2 and on board 5, the Ganges Grandmasters are playing the same somewhat quirky line, which I don't know if it's necessarily in both of those players' repertoire. So I wonder if this is an example of the team actually preparing together. We haven't seen this very much so far. At least we haven't seen much evidence of it. Perhaps they are preparing together, but it's difficult to judge from the outside. But today, both Bella Katanashvili and Richard Rapport on board 2 played the Reti opening, which we haven't seen them play until today.
This bishop e3, it might be a mistake according to the computer, but I think what she wants to do is exchange this long diagonal, which is looking at the king side. And if Lagno takes this, you take it back, and now your king is completely safe. There are no black pieces attacking your king.
You know, Jesse, this knight is not protected well, and black's queen from d8 attack just scans this knight. I don't know if anything works. Perhaps it can be some tactic,
maybe
but
knight
a little
e4.
tic-tac. Okay, that's what I was looking at.
And you take it back.
Well, he did play the knight back as Sime suggested, but looks like, yeah, I do like that prospect of a tactic.
Yeah,
but
I think the problem here was after knight h4, like you said, Jesse, this is a...
What happens?
You know, you give up this knight, and then you win this knight over here. Now you have a weakness, a long-term weakness on e4, and as the game goes ahead, this weakness will be converted by black very easily.
This is giving me PTSD. I see something happening on the Georgian board. Is that correct?
Yeah, the pawn in the center and the king in the center too. I think we should go there.
It looks very similar to what Peter suggested with e4.
That is right. So we
really
had e4,
hard.
right, in the game.
It looks like.
Do you think it's already time for e4? Because the king is in the center, like Peter said, and then maybe you get the rook to e1. I know the engine might not like this move,
but opening it up there for the king, because white's king is safe. And the quickest way to attack is to open up a file, even if it means you are sacrificing a pawn.
Maybe now just keep pushing, because this pawn is a weakness. Just give it up.
And attack the knight. You have to play very, very sharp and all this targeting move. And you know what? Win all the time and bring all the pieces on the board. When you push the pawn forward, it creates more space for your pieces. So I agree with that. I think Bella is just considering to play this move. There are more moves to Samai here. For instance, to jump this knight in the center and attack the bishop. I love that move as well. The first board, Anand Aronian, look at this pawn structure. This is on the left side on the top. I have not seen this pawn structure quite often. And another board is Asipenko, Pierre. This is the right side below. Also looks very interesting.
I think just 2 moves ago, they pushed that kingside pawn 2 squares up, already saying, listen, I'm ready to fight. These are fighting words right here.
There we have it, guys. The points table. The SG Alpine Warriors currently leading the tournament, but they have played one extra game. So the Ganges Grandmasters have a chance to climb and, give them a good fight at the top of the leaderboard. And everything depends on these 6 matches. Right now, we are on board number 6. It is the birthday boy taking on Andrei Esipienko. F6 has been pushed. Should we take this pawn or no, Ketty?
Wow, you better take it. If you don't take it, then I'm gonna take it. It's hanging 2 ways. What Esipenko did, I love that, to open up the H file for its rook. And you might ask, like, where is the rook? I don't see there the rook. But you can do some rook leaves. You can do like rook e3, rook h3 right away, or maybe g3, king g2, and rook to h1. That takes more time.
I'm focusing really hard. Maybe you can help us out there, Samay.
So this is called, if you didn't guess it right, guys, it's called the outpost. The knight is on an outpost. It cannot be removed. There is no black dark square bishop to even capture it. So this knight is going to stay here for a long time.
There's been a massive development on the top board, on the icon board, and Vishy seems to be potentially back to his winning ways, because Levon has just committed a massive mistake on board 1. You can sort of understand why he would miscalculate there, because the move that Vishy just played is, that's Levon at his kind of most disgusted right there. He knows he's done something quite unforgivable. But the reason you miss such a capture, and the reason this capture is so strong, is that, first off, you generally don't want to break up your structure on the king side like this. And this is why players playing the black pieces here, they very safely normally play the move that Levon played, knowing white never wants to take that pawn. But Vishy does take, and the reason it's so strong is that if black recaptures, white has the move queen to d5, which wins a full piece,
That is a
attacking both the
double
rook and the
attack.
bishop.
A
And
double attack.
This is basically resigns, and
Wow.
the choices are very few and none of them are good. You basically have to go back with the bishop. You have to go to h7, and you're now a full pawn down. And Vishy probably quite happily just offers the queen trade on the d6 square. He's up a pawn. The bishop on h7 looks extremely silly.
Replace the pawn, Peter.
Yeah.
It was a pawn. Levon wanted to push this pawn away to have some space for the king, and now he has taller pawn on h7. That's really
this
sad.
this looks extremely bad for black. I would suggest probably just winning for Vishy, who continues having an unbelievably good tournament. In particular with the white pieces. It will be interesting to see how Ganges Grandmasters fare in the second half of the tournament, where Vishy will have to play a lot more with black. But so far, this is a stellar performance by Ganges Grandmasters icon, and this has just to be winning for him.
I think what we saw in the bigger screen was bishop d5. Can we go back to that?
Oh,
with
look at that.
Double exclamation mark. I am yet to understand this move.
Wow.
Wow, this bishop can be taken by 1, 2, 3
Three
pieces.
pieces. Wow. If you take it with a pawn, if you take this sacrifice, then white cannot take it back with a pawn and attack your bishop. And here the same ideas can happen. When you move away your bishop, another bishop is hanging. You
I
have
missed
2
that.
bishops.
I would love to take a look into game number 1 between Anand and Aronian. I want to see how Viswanathan Anand converts this completely winning mid-game.
Yeah. And while we wait for the board, it's actually kind of crazy because obviously you have all the boards available for the players to look at right next to you. I mean, you just glance left or glance right, and you can see your teammates and how they're doing. And it makes me wonder if some of the players are doing that and whether it's affecting their game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it affects big time, and we have seen, especially on the icon boards and the junior boards, they are looking back to see what is happening. And this is a team competition. You need to know what is the live result. You need to know what's the situation, because you might need to make a draw. You might need to just fight for the win. You never want to lose, right?
Guys,
So,
Is this the end game or is this the mid game? At what point do you say that now the end game has begun?
Oh, That's
That's
a
the best question ever. Even
That's
I
so
don't know.
tricky.
Often I think it's like when the queens are exchanged, but you even have a queen ending that exists.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to tell. Ketty, maybe you're the most experienced.
I agree with that, Jesse. Like some
Yeah.
people count it as if the queens are off the board, then it's the end game. But then you have rest of the pieces on the board. How
Yeah.
is that end game? Or the other way is all the pieces are off the board and only queens are on the board. And then is that an end
Yeah.
game because you have a queens on the board? This is end game because you have few pieces on the board. And I can say when the king is this active as white's king now on h4, this is definitely end game.
But guys, if you count the pieces, white is only a pawn up. Why is the engine favoring white so much? Guys, we have a result coming in from board 2. Richard Rappo and Yu Yangi. Game ended in a draw. So that's half. That score, which is basically they get 1-1 points. That's a draw. And meanwhile, all the other boards, guys, board 1, board 3, board 4, board 5 are favoring Ganges Grandmasters. They are really dominating this match, guys.
Oh, look at this king being
King.
so active.
King of
is
the hill.
Up with the bar.
Oh, it's
Wow.
going crazy.
Oh my god, Ganges Grandmasters winning on this board as well. All the boards are now in favor of Ganges Grandmasters. What a dominating performance by the team, guys.
It
Yeah.
is, and look at this one.
King went
Checks,
back.
and a final check will be checkmate for sure.
Oh.
Oh, this
And
is
we
a
have a
mate.
hand
It's almost a
check.
mate,
This
right?
is, and the game is over.
It's a checkmate.
It is over.
And
Wow.
here we see first decisive result here. And he just made it. Guys, we
And
do
there
have
it
the
is.
result,
Another
right?
That's
result
exactly-
on board number 4. Ho Yifan has won her game against Katrina Lagno. That means another 3 points.
Oh.
Ganges Grandmasters.
Look at this king dominating so much. And we have information. The board 3 has been done as well. And guess who won there? It's so hard to get.
It's again Ganges Grandmasters.
I wonder if it
Dominguez
was a
has won that
time.
game, and it is again those friends. The score is 10-1 right now. Completely dominating
Wow.
performance by Ganges Grandmasters.
This is a general rule of thumb when you talk about pawn up endgames with one rook each and pawns on one side. They're generally drawn. They do require some work. Some of them are trickier than the others. And if the stronger side has all 4 pawns on one side against 3 for the other, those generally are quite tricky. And there are some famous cases of even players as great as Garry Kasparov losing them on occasion. But they do tend to be drawn, and this one wasn't particularly difficult. So yeah, Andre gives up trying and offers a draw. They are winning by a huge margin anyway, so he doesn't really need to push this too hard.
Right. All right. This game is down as well. 1 in progress, and this is the icon game. We need to see what is happening on the first board. And
Oh, but what about this check?
you
what
just
about
take
this
this.
check?
You just take this. You just take it.
Just take it.
Take it.
And then you cover by your rook.
Oh, it's like folding a
Ah.
bridge,
Mm.
as I would say.
Bridge, and a handshake.
There we
Just
have it,
happened.
guys. Viswanathan defeating Levon Aronian, and with that, we have a score of 14-2 in favor of the Ganges Grandmasters. What a phenomenal performance! What a terrific performance, Ketty and Jesse. I am just awestruck by the domination that Ganges Grandmasters have shown in this matchup.